Do you let your judgments get the better of you? In case we haven't met yet, I'm Jess. I'm the sole founder of Life in Confidence. Judgment is a way to dismantle and disintegrate a human connection. We judge because as soon as we identify an indifference in a person's personality, behavior, and thought patterns that can be quite triggering or disruptive within our nervous system, we start to separate ourselves from that person. If you think of the media, they have done a great job in using judgment through politicians expressing their views of the opposition, bashing and bullying others, and not really focusing on what they have to offer, their policies and strengths, and how they're going to make permanent and tangible changes. And this creates division in the collective consciousness, separation, disconnection, and rivalry. So how can we start dissolving judgment as an egoic coping mechanism to protect ourselves from what is different to us? What I've noticed from my personal experience with judgment is that in the past, I was a big judgmental person, especially being a Virgo. And what judgment has really taught me is that I could have been more softer. I could have been more compassionate. I could have been more accepting of that person's indifference and flaws and mistakes and setbacks. I could have been more kinder in my communication. I could have been more patient and curious to understand that person's perspective and where it's coming from. And with judgment, it really narrows down the mind, critical thinking, and it hinders our growth because our heart then shuts down. And through this, I noticed I lost a lot of friendships and wanting to cut off family members. And it creates inconsistency in the human connection to experience love, joy, and acceptance for that person. And with judgment, it creates this push and pull effect. When I'm judging, I shut down and I withdraw myself from that person. As soon as I open up my heart, then I can move towards that person and connect with them from a place of humility. And that's what I've learned from judgment. I've also noticed that as soon as I catch myself out from the patterns of judgment that I'm perceiving from an egoic deficiency with my romantic partner, I notice that when I judge him, it creates more conflict, it creates more separation, it creates more power struggles, it creates disconnection. And when I was able to give myself permission to take this as an invitation to really dive deep and look into this, why is it that I constantly shut down my heart to a beautiful man who has a big heart and his heart is so open to me? And why is it that I'm letting my judgments get the better of me, especially in this divine union partnership? And I've realized it's because I wasn't able to work through an old wound that the little girl inside of me was still holding on to with her father, and transferring that judgment of, you don't treat me well, you're not good enough for me, and all of these stories that comes from a place of judgment, that my dad was never enough for me. He wasn't a man. I had to step up and be my masculine, to provide, to constantly give. And when I catch myself out in this vicious story of judgment from my past into my partnership, I was able to see how I was shutting myself down. And that's when I stopped blaming my partner for the shutdown that I was experiencing within myself, because it's only me that's choosing to shut down, nobody else. So through this experience, I decided to soften my rigidity and inflexibility in the way I was approaching things with him. And through that, I notice through a more compassionate approach, where I'm more understanding and asking questions to understand from a more loving place rather than a dismissive manner, I was able to work through my triggers faster. I was able to process my emotions better, and I was able to gain more clarity in my thoughts. And this is the power of letting go of judgment, and to be willing to be humble instead, to be a humble student, to approach every relationship, every experience from a place of curiosity and openness rather than closeness and rigidity. That if we want to change our relationships and to create a greater impact in the collective consciousness, we must start to soften the judgments within ourselves. And this is what's showing up in the world, with the wars, with all of these political parties and people in power. It's a constant cycle of judgment being circulated that is spreading like a virus through social media and in the news, where we are programmed to judge what's right, what's wrong. And if it doesn't fit into the social norms of what's right or wrong, then this person is crazy, or this person is all of these labels. But really, who are we to judge what's right or wrong? Every person has gone through their own experience of life. And so everyone's definition and experiences or standards or tolerance of what's right or wrong is completely different, and maybe somewhat similar. So we can never assume through judgment that this person is supposed to behave or act or think this way until we get to know them and what they went through. So how can you see where you judge people? What are the thoughts, behaviors, and certain types of personalities that you judge? And how can you start bringing more love, compassion, and acceptance? It's not an easy task, but it's one worth looking into, because I promise you, you will definitely improve the way you perceive your loved ones and your relationships, personal and professional, so you can show up for yourself and others with far more ease and grace and flow through a softer approach in perspective. If you got something out of this video, I would love for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel so I can reach as many people as I can with my messages. You can also give this video a like, comment below what you got from this, and share it with your loved ones as well. And if you really struggle to break away the toxic rigidity and the hardness of judgment, where you find yourself judging yourself and judging others and struggling to see it from multiple perspectives in order for you to move forward and to heal yourself, then you might be interested in attending my upcoming events. And here's why. Judgment comes from a place of conditions. It's an armor that we wear to protect our egos. And when we start to melt away this armoring and conditioning from the past, we then start to experience and see life differently. A much more softer and nourishing way to be. And so if you feel called to, I have my online ceremony, which is my Chinese New Year Inner Child Healing Circle in the Wood Snake, which is on Wednesday the 29th of January at 7 to 9 p.m. Sydney time via Zoom. And this involves a personalized reading and forecast for the new year in the Wood Snake, and what you need to look out for in terms of room for improvement, ways to improve your luck in your career, in your finances, in your health, in your love life, and in your healing journey. I will also be guiding you into a light language transmission to heal the fragments of your inner child so you can feel more centered and whole and grounded in the new year. And a personalized card reading, a message for you to move forward, to take away with you in 2025. And also there will be an integration piece through a guided art therapy segment, and also sacred shares for you to share what showed up for you in that experience. So if you'd like to learn more or to book a ticket, please click on the link below. And also for my face-to-face immersions, I am running my Transforming Trauma workshop, Conscious Relationship workshop, Healing Your Inner Children workshop, and I'll be launching a new one just for women. And I'll be running that in Australia, London, and Tokyo, most likely. So if you'd like to learn more, click on the links below, and you can also book a ticket. I only take 6 people maximum per container to keep it sacred and personalized for every individual that is participating. And if you require a payment plan to work with your current situation, please book a free clarity call, which is also in the link in the workshop links, so I can best serve you and support you, and also to see if this is right for you as well. So there you have it, my love. May this message serve you.